Welcome back into Honor Land on the Big Play Sports Network. I am Max Loeb. He is Chef Zay. And if you were to ask 10 people, are the Browns playing the best team in the NFL this week? I think 4 to 5 would say yes. This Packers team is no joke. They've looked really good with the addition of Micah Parsons, beating up on Washington, another game that score was not as indicative of how much better the Packers were, and they beat up on the Lions in week 1. Now they're coming off, which I think is the most overlooked thing here, a mini-bye, an extra couple days of rest, where offensive linemen have been banged up. New injuries picked up on the Packers offense, though, that we'll talk about. But regardless, the Browns are in a tough spot this week. This is a good team. I think it might be the... If the Ravens defense plays well, it's not. But if the Ravens defense and their secondary doesn't play well, this might be the best team they've faced so far.
Yeah, I mean, the Ravens are the Ravens. I keep saying the Ravens are the 09 Cavs. You know what they're going to do in the regular season. They're going to dominate. The questions come in the playoffs for them. So I think best you have the debate, maybe hottest. This might be the hottest team that we've seen in terms.
Is definitely the hottest.
Definitely team. Right. So I mean, you get Micah Parsons. That defense is going crazy. Jordan Love is looking like the guy that they want him to be. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough matchup, but you know where we can lay our hats on, and it's much easier to convince people of this now than ever before. Vegas. Vegas. And you know why I say that? We got a glimpse of it last night. There was no way in hell.
Yeah.
98% of the money was on Buffalo. Yeah. And you tell me the Dolphins were making it competitive and they covered on top of that. If you're a betting man, I know we're past the FanDuel segment, but the 7.5, I know we said last week
it's a lot.
was a sure lock, and it wasn't. But I think this is the week where Vegas may give some teams some edges. We may get some favorable calls, and maybe we can turn something into nothing.
I like
or
that.
nothing into something.
I think if the Browns want to do that, it's got to come on the offensive side of the ball, like we've talked about. And I think when you look at the Packers defense, it's healthy. You have playmakers really, I won't say on all three levels, but Micah Parsons is a game changer. And I think people overlook Xavier McKinney. I think one of the best safeties in the NFL, probably the best ball hawk safety in the NFL right now. That defense is no joke. And I think the Browns, if they want any chance, literally any chance, they have to stay ahead of the change. Quinjon Judkins has to touch the ball probably 20 times in this game. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. He's got to do that. And they have to make the most after the catch. Like I talked about, Packers, very zone-heavy team. You saw guys like Deebo Samuel making an impact against them because that's the guy that Jaden Daniels likes to check the football down to. Sam Laporta is the exact same thing in the Lions offense. He had a big game. Again, I like Harold Fannin Jr., but it's him, it's Njoku, and it's Dylan Sampson. Dylan Sampson has to be a guy that makes plays after the catch, and we saw it in Cincinnati when they sat in that soft zone for a lot of the game. It was Sampson, even behind the line of scrimmage sometimes, but within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, turning a 4-yard catch into a 12 or 13-yard catch because of how explosive he is. If the Browns want any, and I mean any chance of winning this game, they have to make plays after the catch because the catches are going to be there. The completions are going to be there. They got to make plays after it.
They need to yak, as they would say. I'm going to go the other end, though. I definitely agree with what you have to say, but unfortunately, we're at this stage again, and another year, it seems like, where our defense is going to have to put points up on the board. Remember last year? Rodney McLeod led our team in touchdowns through the first 2 or 3 weeks.
I think it was 4.
Season.
I think it was 4.
A ridiculous stat. And I mean,
no, wait. You know what? He scored against the Eagles.
He scored twice. Eagles and Raiders.
And the Raiders.
So he led he led our team.
I think it was either week 4 or week 5. But that's a month. Regardless.
That's crazy.
Yeah, semantics.
And I think we're at that position again. And you hear it with the Myles Garrett. When Myles Garrett came out and said it's bullshit. When he said that, guess what he followed it up with? Our defense has to be better. The defense, it feels like that early stage in the Remember the Titans where it was divided defense and offense before that unity came and then everyone was together. It feels like there is a divide in the locker room right now where the defense is only focused on what they could do because unfortunately, and I'm probably saying too much because I don't think there's an actual divide. I'm saying in terms of how they're viewing it right now. The defense is going to try to do everything that they can to put points up on the board, to create turnovers, to give the offense literally a better shot, or what we say the coach should be doing, putting them in position to win. Because it's clear as day, our coach ain't putting our players in position to win.
Hasn't been so far this year, at least. That's for sure. And you know what? He didn't last week.
He did in
week 1. I will say that he did in week 1, and the Browns should have won that game in week 1. On the other side of the ball, though, you're right. The defense has to step up. What's interesting here is the Packers have done all this the first couple weeks of the season and have looked, I'm just going to say it, bad on the ground with Josh Jacobs. Now, they don't have their starting, or hadn't had their starting left guard in Aaron Banks and their starting right tackle in Zach Tom, 2 very good players. Aaron Banks especially, very, very good player. Both limited participants on Thursday. You're not 100% sure if they're going to play, but assuming you get at least one of them back, probably going to run the ball better. But Josh Jacobs picked up an injury in practice. Would be shocked if he did not play, but picked up an injury. And the guy we really got to talk about here is Tucker Kraft. The knee injury, thankfully, not anything serious. But when you look at this week, not, a gloss over or get right game for Green Bay, but you look at this thing long term, how much do you want to rush somebody back from a knee injury 72 hours, 3 days before a game? I think there's a legit question if he plays this week. And that's probably the Packers' best pass catcher right now who would not play. And obviously Jaden Reed had the collarbone injury, the broken collarbone. He's not playing this game. Packers pass offense, if the Browns can stop up the run, it's not as good as Baltimore.
No.
The offensive line, it's solid. It depends on the starters. Again, there's so much opportunity for this defense to take advantage. There's only going to be a couple weeks this year where we walk into a game and we're thinking the Browns defense is actually matched up. Like, there's a tough matchup.
I was going to say, well, you mentioned Tucker Kraft, and who are the people that are usually guarding the tight ends? The
Packers,
linebackers, right? You know who's number 3rd ranked overall in coverage right now?
Devin Bush.
Yeah. Now, so listen, the Browns defense is one thing that I would put any offense up against our defense right now. I'll take it with a grain of salt because I know our secondary isn't great.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about I would feel so comfortable going to battle with our defense right now. I have no problems with the matchup. I know our boy Cam Mitchell got absolutely torched last week. But again, our offense did our defense no disservice, and these games would be so much different if we are putting points up on the board. They'd be able to play and scheme up differently on the defense. Imagine how this defense is going to look when we finally get a lead. It's going to look different.
Insane.
It's going to be scary. So if the offense can complement the defense isn't going to have any, and we're already the number 1 rush defense. Tucker Kraft, like you said, is injured, and we do have better linebacker coverage now. I like our defense against this matchup right now.
I do too.
It's the offense that's scaring me.
And this is the best defense the Browns. This is the best defense the Browns are going to play all year. I'm just going to say it. It is. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so. I mean, Micah Parsons, you had a good defense that was schemed up really well. I like Jeff Hafley, their defensive coordinator, a lot. You have the game-wrecking defensive end. You have an extremely solid front 7. Corners, again, not great, but they're masked by how much zone they play. They're very, very rarely asked to, okay, you go cover Jerry Jeudy. They're not really asked to do that. And then you have,
Jerry?
Again, yes, the best ball hawking safety in the NFL. Like, I don't think there's anybody better at finding a football than Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and I definitely think you're right.
This is the best defense they're going to face. I think Baltimore, at their best, can compete too. I'm trying to think,
Steelers? Number 1 paid defense.
Nah, I don't know. But regardless, this is a tough defensive matchup. We're going to give our score predictions and players to watch up next on Honor the Land on Big Play Sports Network. Welcome back into Honor the Land on Big Play Sports Network. I am Max Loeb. He is Chev Zay. We're going to give our score prediction and one player to watch in this game. Look, Zay, I know we just talked about the 7.5 number being a lot. I think the Packers outmatch the Browns. I think it's a bloodbath. I think back and forth in the first half, and then all of a sudden, the Packers get a chunk play. Matt LaFleur schemes something up. They're up, let's just say up by 7, and Micah Parsons gets to tee off on an offensive line, probably without Joel Bitonio, with DeJuan Jones, having the questions about staying on the field, and maybe without Jack Conklin. I don't love the Browns playing from behind. Now, if they can play from ahead or within a possession, this is going to be a good game. Can they get there? I truthfully don't know. I'm going to go Packers. I'm going to go Packers 23, Browns. You know what? I'll keep them within the number. 16. 23-16 Packers.
You have the Packers score right on my end. I'm going to go... I'm gonna go. Listen, I'm going to the game, so I'm gonna hopefully bring my kids' very, very first game. We gotta bring them in right. We gotta bring it in with a dub. I'm bringing in that positive mojo.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I think this is gonna come down to a lot. We're gonna need, and what are the 2 areas that we have suffered most this year? Special teams and offense. It's going to come at the hands of both of them. Our defense is going to do everything that they need to do up until the point where it is all in the hands of Big Joe. It's all in the hands of Kevin Stefanski. And then to win the game, it's going to be at the foot of Andre Schmidt. And we're going to knock out all these bubbles all at once. 24-23, game-winning lead drive after they come down and take the lead. So we'll have the lead. Green Bay and Jordan Love will come down. They'll retake the lead. It'll be 23-21, and the Browns will kick a game-winning field goal at the foot of Andre Schmidt to win by 1 point.
All right, on the spot, player of the game.
Player of the game is going to go to Kevin Stefanski.
What? You can do that?
Because this is why I say that. Only reason why I say that is because whenever Kevin Stefanski gets this like, and I know we just sat on here and we bashed him forever, but that's usually when we see a response, is when it's like, oh, okay, let me remind you. And then we'll go back to the 3 weeks where we're like, what the hell's Kevin doing? But Kevin will do something in this game where the Kevin Stefanski truthers will run with it and be like, see, this is why you want him as our coach. So I'll give you a real player, though. Myles Garrett.
Okay.
He's going to be the player of the game.
I think Dylan Sampson. I think
like
this mirrors Cincinnati's matchup where he's just going to have plenty of opportunities to catch the football. And, if there's anything, Bengals defense tackling-wise, especially not as good as Green Bay, but if he's producing anything like we saw against a similar matchup week 1, I trust him to have 50 meaningful yards through the air again. But those are our predictions. Packers-Browns, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern, down by the lake in the brown uniforms. Will that affect the heat and the sitting of players? We don't know. We will see. But I like the uniforms. I'm excited.
I love them.
Yeah, it's going to be a good game.
Yeah, so make sure you guys come on down. Well, I'll be at the game. We'll actually be at the Science Center, too. I'm doing the VIP Bulls Guy tailgate thing, which will be pretty cool. So make sure you guys come on in. And, we need as much Cleveland Browns hope that you can muster up because it could get very, very ugly after this week.
Yeah, let's hope it doesn't. But we appreciate you guys watching and listening. Honor the Land on Big Play Sports Network. We will see you next time.